Good afternoon, students. We have been discussing workbook exercises since the last week. But today we will once discuss model question papers. We have sent the copies of model question papers to you already. I hope you have got the copies. There are two question papers in the file, model paper 1 and 2. Just keep the file open, or no problem, I will discuss each and every question. Just listen to me. The paper will be for 100 marks and time will be 3 hours. 15 minutes will be there for going through the question paper, but you will get 3 hours for writing answers. Here there will be 12 1-mark questions. All questions will be compulsory. So let us start discussing 1-mark questions. Row number 1, answer the following in a word, a phrase or a sentence each. First question, according to the elephant, whose skin is harder in The Gentleman of the Jungle? Row number 1, first question, according to the elephant, whose skin is harder in The Gentleman of the Jungle? Whose skin is harder? In the opinion of elephant, man's skin. So we will write answer man apostrophe s, man's skin. So now if you write this much. Second question, where do the children spend many an anxious hour in the schoolboy? Here answer is in the school or classroom. Just write school or classroom. Third question, what was the narrator doing to earn a living in Uru Manushan? What was the narrator doing actually there? He had to earn his livelihood, so he started teaching the migrant laborers how to write addresses in English. So answer will be teaching the migrant laborers to write address in English. Fourth question, name the school that Babar Ali runs for the underprivileged children. What is the name of Babar Ali school? That is Anand Shiksha Niketan. Anand Shiksha Niketan. Remember the spelling here. This is as given in the textbook, Shiksha Niketan. Fifth question, who wouldn't flee shouting for a bath in the poem If I Was a Tree? Remember, who actually wouldn't flee, wouldn't run away shouting for a bath there? Mother Earth. Sixth question, which is the sacred animal mentioned in the poem If I Was a Tree? Their sacred animal is cow. Seventh question, who was considered a lunatic in Watchman of the Lake? Mara is considered lunatic, as said by the village headman. So Mara is the answer. Eighth question answer. In Watchman of the Lake, the river Veda is the plaything of the goddess. Ninth question answer. How many children does the farmer's wife have? Do you remember? 4 children. Just write 4. 10th one. How much did the old woman demand from the visitors? How much? 50 paise. 11th question. What was Nicola and Jacopo's father? What was he by profession? Father was a singer. A singer at La Scala. Twelfth question answer. In Oru Malushan, the people in the restaurant look like hungry wolves. You will write just answers, writing the right question numbers in the examination. Remember, it is enough if you write in a word, a phrase or in a sentence for 1 mark questions. Leave one line after each answer. Here there is no space, so I have written here. You will write continuously. Okay, next we go for 4-mark questions. There will be 10 4-mark questions. You have to attempt any 8. There will be choice. And you have to choose at least 2 from poetry section. 2 questions from poetry section minimum. Row number 2, 4-mark questions. Remember, the question numbers will be continuous question numbers. After 12, 13 will come for 4 marks. 13th question will be the first question in 4-mark section. Narrate the circumstances that led to the dispute between the man and the elephant in The Gentleman of the Jungle. What should you write here? Narrate the circumstances that led to the dispute. So, the beginning part of the story. First part, what actually happened there? Once an elephant made a friendship with a man. There was a torrential rain. Elephant found it to be a good opportunity to take the benefit of the friendship. So he went to the man and requested him to allow him to put his trunk inside the hut. Man allowed him to put his trunk inside the hut. But once elephant put his trunk inside the hut, he slowly pushed his head also inside and finally entered the hut and flung the man out in the rain. And then what happened? The man started to grumble. And all the animals in the surroundings gathered there, came hearing the heated argument between man and elephant. Finally, Mr. Lion, king of the jungle, came and appointed a commission of inquiry to look into the matter. You will write it as per it is given in the printed notes. Next, question number 14. The Gentleman of the Jungle is a critic of European superpowers and their laws. Explain. It is a critic of European superpowers and their loss. Here, critic is an indirect analysis. How just European superpowers overpowered African territories and subdued African rulers. Similarly, here in this fable, the gentleman of the jungle made injustice to man and made man helpless in his own place where he had a hut. Finally, man taught them all a lesson by building a better, bigger hut and making them occupied and setting the hut on fire and burn them all together. Next, 15th one. Why is the little boy uninterested to go to school on summer morning in the school boy? You can write the shortened summary of the poem. Describe the people and the place in which the narrator lived in Urumanushan. Do you remember? Once the narrator reached a city some 1500 miles away from his hometown. The people there were cruel, they were money minded, they were ready to do anything for money. They were soldiers by profession, some were money lenders, some worked as security guards or they were working in the commercial establishments as watchmen, and robbery, pickpocketing, theft and all were even murder were common in their place. Only money was valued. Mercy had no meaning in their place. Write all those things as given in the textbook. Next, write a note on Anand Shiksha Niketan started by Babar Ali. Here you have to write how Babar Ali started the school game and how it got institutionalized, how he developed his own school, how much effort he put, from which all sources he got support, how many students were there initially, how the student strength grew, how later Babar Ali introduced midday meal scheme, then how Babar Ali school was recognized by West Bengal government, education department of West Bengal government, how Tulu Rani Hazra helped out Babar Ali in recruiting students to his school. Devarita Bhattacharya and other volunteer teachers, how they cooperated with Babar Ali to realize their ambitious dream, and how famous Babar Ali is presently as a result of his genuine efforts. And how is the setup of Babar Ali school? How students learn there? What is special in Babar Ali school? All those things. 18th one. Bring out the significance of the sacred spot that Mara describes to the king in Watchman of the Lake. Remember, in Watchman of the Lake, king was arriving. On the way, beside the path, there was a tree. Somebody suddenly jumped up from the tree down on the spot where king was there, and the man informed the king that that was a sacred spot, because once Hanuman, when Lakshmana was wounded and he was in dire need of Sanjeevani, Hanuman came over there and stood at the same place before he went up the mountain and took the herb Sanjeevani and took to Lanka. Right, that incident, okay. Then, how did Mara react when he saw a man fishing in the lake, in watchman of the lake? Remember that particular section of the play where once a man was fishing and Mara called his son Ganga and went there and scolded the man for fishing there and even threw the fish in the basket back into the water and warned him, and then how he boasted himself before him and how helplessly the fisherman went away. Why did the farmer's wife decide to live? In farmer's wife, the husband committed suicide, not being able to bear the burden of debt or credit. But after his death, the wife became helpless because she had to face the challenges of life on the one hand, on the other she had to be responsible to the family and even to the creditors. But finally, how she took a strong decision, determination to live and face and even to teach her children how to face the odds of life, challenges of life. You may write a summary of the poem. Farmer's Wife. How is the plight of the old woman depicted in an old woman? The poem Old Woman, what actually was happening in the surroundings of the temple, even though there were many people visiting the temple and they were there making noise in and around the temple atop the hill, but still this old woman remains alone even in the crowd. Nobody supports her, but still she retains her confidence. She wishes to live somehow without being dependent on others. She worked as a tourist guide there and she would expect 50 paise coin for her service. And finally, how the visitor started to feel himself inferior, looking at the confidence of that old woman and looking at his inability to give away just 50 paise coin because his mind was that narrow. He could not make up his mind even to give away 50 paise coin, so he felt reduced himself to the small change in her hand. He felt inferior for not being able to remain generous. Last question. What did the narrator learn about Lucia from the nurse in Two Gentlemen of Verona? Remember, once on Sunday, Jacopo, as requested by Jacopo, the narrator went to give a drop to those two boys who wanted to go to Poleta, as they did in the weekends. So narrator himself was driving the car. Boys were in the car, and they finally reached a red roof villa, large house. Those two boys just got off the car and entered the boundary, the boundary of the bungalow and disappeared. Later, the narrator went inside the gate and reached the entrance of the building and rang the bell. A decent looking woman who was in the dress of a nurse opened the door and took him upstairs and showed the cabin in which those two boys were just having a chat with a lady. She was the sister. She was suffering from tuberculosis. Nurse asked the narrator to go into the cabin, but narrator denied it. Narrator did not want to go into the cabin because he did not want to interfere or interrupt the private chat between brothers and sisters. So they just started to return to the entrance of the building. While returning, the nurse just told the narrator about the background of those boys, how they suffered the tragic effects of war, how cultured their background was, how happy they were, and how they lost their father, mother, then their house, and how they became literally thrown into the street, how they managed to live, and how they were working hard in all the ways to meet the expenses of the treatment of their sister who was suffering from tuberculosis, how they faced the dangers, how they contributed to the secret movement against Germany, Guard, all those things you will write as said by the nurse. Next, row number 3. One thing, you have to write answers for formal questions. You have to write answers in one paragraph. Remember, you have to write your answers in one paragraph for 4 mark questions. Now 6 marks question, question number 23. This should be answered in 2 or 3 paragraphs. Minimum 2, maximum 3 paragraphs. Remember it. Don't write in one paragraph, write in 2 or 3 paragraphs to get maximum marks. Babar Ali is a wonder, an inspiration for others. Discuss. You have to write the whole summary of the chapter, how Babar Ali started his school game, then how it became institutionalized, how is Babar Ali's background, what was he when he started his school, how he was a sincere student in the morning, how he was an educationalist in the afternoon, how he taught the small children, underprivileged children for free, very effectively for free. He had a team of volunteer teachers, and how famous Babar Ali is now. Everything what comes in the chapter. Next, describe how the poem "If I Was a Tree" brings out the pains of a man rejected by his society. Here, this poem speaks about the social discrimination caused by caste system prevalent in India. The pains of a man rejected by his society, those pains are discussed in this poem by the poet, saying that his life would have been better if he was a tree. Instead of being an untouchable human being, he would have enjoyed different privileges being a tree. What and all he could have enjoyed being a tree is given in the poem. You know the summary of the poem. Write it in 2 or 3 paragraphs. What and all he would have enjoyed being a tree, and what he cannot enjoy being a human being but untouchable. Third one, explain Mara's commitment in protecting the lake. How Mara became the watchman of the lake as per the order of the king. How goddess came in the dream of Mara, and how Mara communicated goddess's wish to the king. How king built tank to river Veda, and how Mara became the watchman of the lake, and then how once goddess got angry with Mara, and how finally Mara sacrificed his life for the sake of the lake and the citizens of the king's kingdom. And because of his commitment, how he remained immortal in the form of an idol in the shrine built in the memory of him. Next is the passage. Read the following passage and answer the questions set on it. You only do it. Read the passage, search exact answers from the passage, write them. I won't discuss the passage. Next we go to Roman number 5. Remember, passage questions also should be answered in a word, a phrase or a sentence each, and better you write all of them in a sequence together, writing the right question numbers. Do not write lengthy answers for passage questions. If you write in 3 sentences, 4 sentences and more, marks will not be allotted. It will be considered wrong, remember. So write in a word, a phrase or sentence. 1 sentence will be enough. Maximum 2 lines if not possible. Otherwise you complete it in 1 line only. Roman number 5. A. This is a question on articles and prepositions. Write the paragraph there, the content given there, and fill the blanks. Do not write direct answers, but write the content given and fill in the blanks. Verona is dash lovely city, rich dash history dash quiet medieval streets and splendid buildings of dash exquisite pale honey color. Their articles and prepositions are given in brackets. A and with in. Apply them appropriately. Let's apply. Verona is a lovely city, rich in history, with quiet medieval streets and splendid buildings of an exquisite pale honey color. Next, B. Fill in the blanks with suitable form of the verbs given in brackets. Here too, you have to write the given paragraph. It was a busy restaurant. The owner dash a loud guffaw, startling everyone around. He dashed the narrator by the lapels of his coat and dashed him. He dashed him to put the money down and go. Here, in brackets, 4 verbs are given. Let us write the appropriate word form there. This passage seems to be of past tense because the incident already happened. So we will write answers in past tense. The verbs will be in past tense form. The owner gave a loud guffaw, startling everyone around. He Caught, that becomes caught the narrator by the lapels of his coat and shook him. He told, tell becomes told him to put the money down and go. This way, it will be very easy, simple. Write appropriate answers in the examination, write in the paragraph given first. Next, C. Choose the correct form of the verb that agrees with the subject. Subject verb agreement question. Question number 36. Babar Ali dash lessons just the way he has heard them from his teachers. There dash no building for his school, but he dash managed to run classes for hundreds of students. Here, first one, Babar Ali dash in brackets gives / give. Here, which one should be chosen? Babar Ali singular, he. Tense is present here because Babar Ali is still an achiever. He is continuing his efforts and achievements. So we write it in present tense. Babar Ali give or gives. Babar Ali gives because it is in third person singular, tense is present. Babar Ali gives lessons just the way he has heard them from his teachers. There is no building, singular, so is. There is no building for his school, but he has. He is a third person, so we use has instead of have in present tense. But he has managed to run classes for hundreds of students. Next, D. Correct the following sentences and rewrite them. Kumar is a engineer is given there. What should it be? An engineer, because engineer, the word begins with vowel sound, so we use an. 38. I get up at 6 a.m. in the morning. AM means morning only, so in the morning is not required there. Just write I get up at 6 a.m. either, or I get up at 6 in the morning. Better write I get up at 6 a.m. That is the shortest possible answer. Next, E. Rewrite as directed. Question number 39. The narrator could not dash the humiliation. In brackets, bear. B-E-A-R and B-A-R-E. Fill in the blanks with appropriate word given in brackets. The narrator could not bear the humiliation. Which bear? B-E-A-R. Here bear means face or sustain or tolerate. B-A-R-E gives different meaning. Bear there means alone or empty. So here B-E-A-R is the right spelling. This is a question on homophones. 40th one, Babar Ali decided to give dash to the underprivileged. Write the appropriate word form there. You have to write noun form there. Babar Ali decided to give education. Educate becomes education to the underprivileged. 41. Jumbled segments. Rearrange the segments to form a meaningful sentence. See, there are sentence parts given, words and expressions. Her, will, the, keep, goddess, word. So, your answer will be the goddess will keep her word. Full stop. Remember, write capital letter here because this is the beginning of the sentence. Next, question number 42. The boys were saving money. Add question tag. put one comma and write the tag. Here tense is past, the boys plural, so were. There is no not in the given sentence, so sentence is positive, tag will be negative. Weren't they, the boys, so they. Underline it, put question mark. Next, question number 43. An elephant made friendship with a man. Change into a question beginning with the right form of do. Here, an elephant made friendship. The verb is in past tense. So, you will begin with the past form of do, that is did. Did an elephant after writing do form, we will write the present form of the verb. So, did an elephant make friendship with the man? Question mark. Next, Nicola and Jacopo were selling strawberries. Underlined word there is strawberries. Frame questions so as to get the underlined word as answer. What were Nicola and Jacopo selling? This way you will write WH question so as to get underlined word as answer. Next, row number 6 is scoreboard. IPL table is given here. Just look at it. There are 4 questions on it. First question, which team has the highest points? Just look at the points. Last section of the table. Mumbai Indians has got 18 points, Deccan Chargers 14, Sunrisers Hyderabad 16, Royal Challengers 12. So, Mumbai Indians team has the highest points. You will just write question number 45 A, then answer. What is the answer? Mumbai Indians. Just write Mumbai Indians. No need of completing the sentence there. Next, how many matches have Deccan Chargers lost? See there, lost matches are 3. Just write 3. Which of the teams has lost 4 matches? Which team has lost 4 matches? Just check there. RCB, Royal Challengers Bangalore, has lost 4 matches. Just write Royal Challengers Bangalore. D. How many matches have Sunrisers Hyderabad won? How many matches? It has won 8 matches. This way you will get 4 marks for this question. 1 mark each, 4 questions. Simple questions. Answers will be there in the table given. Just choose and write. Do not write unnecessary explanation there. No need of completing the sentence. Write to the point answers. So your answers will be Mumbai Indians 3, Royal Challengers Bangalore and 8. Next, 46. Question number 46. Letter writing. Here the question given is, write a letter to the district health officer requesting him or her to provide information about the precautionary measures to be taken to prevent the spread of COVID-19 disease. Imagine you do not know specifically what measures to be taken to prevent the spread of COVID-19. You want to know it from district health officer. So you will write a letter seeking information addressing the district health officer. Your letter should include the following points: symptoms of COVID-19, preventive methods, when to consult doctor, availability of medicine. So you will start writing your letter. For your name you will write XXX, then YYY for address, then write present date, digit, word, digit format, then leave one line, then receiver's address is the district health officer, and write some district, no problem, you can write the name of any district. Then salutation, respected sir / madam, R capital there, sir is capital, madam M capital, leave another line, then subject, requesting to provide information about the precautionary measures to be taken against COVID-19 disease. Then start writing the body of the letter. I am XXX, I am a resident of YYY area in such and such district. You can mention, no problem. I have come to know that COVID-19 disease is spreading rapidly nowadays. I am a bit confused about what particular measures should be taken to prevent the spread of the disease. Different people say in different ways about the measures to be taken. So I want to know the things from an authentic source. So I request you to provide the required information regarding the precautionary measures to be taken to prevent the spread of COVID-19 disease. Kindly send the details about the symptoms of COVID-19, preventive methods, when to consult doctor, and about the availability of medicine. Kindly consider my request and oblige. Leave one line, then thank you. Leave another line, then write yours faithfully, yours without apostrophe, Y capital, F small, down there, XXX for your signature, bigger XXX for your name in brackets. Enclosure is not required here. Next, Roman number 7, matching expressions. There were 5 expressions and 5 language functions. Let us match them. Remember here, when you write answer in the examination, you must write both the columns, column A and column B. Do not write directly the answers without writing both the columns, because the instruction there is match the following. To match, there should be 2 columns at least. So you have to write both the columns and your answer should be in a matched format. Okay. Column B should be in the matched order. Do not put arrow marks and all. Do not give numbers, but directly write the matching expressions to the functions. Let us discuss. Hello, good morning. This is greeting. Meet my friend Mohan. Introducing. You look nice in this dress. Complimenting. I beg to differ with you. Disagreeing. Good night. Leave taking. We have matched them. This is a scoreable item. Match the expressions with functions with utmost care. You will get out of a minute. Next, question number 48. Complete the dialogue. There will be total 7 marks for dialogue writing. One question will be for completing the dialogue. Another on creating a dialogue. 4 marks for completing the dialogue. There will be 4 blanks, or you may have to write 4 sentences to complete the dialogue. See here, Suma. Hi Rima, how are you? Rima may say, I am fine, how are you? 1 mark for writing I am fine there, and another mark for writing how are you and putting question mark. Remember, punctuation is very important there, spelling also, grammar also. Everything should be correct. You will get 1 mark to each blank. Suma, I am also fine. When did you come over here? When did you come over here? Question mark. Rima, I came yesterday. Suma, shall we go for coffee and chat? Rima, okay, let us go. Okay, let us go. If you write this much and underline your answers, you will get 4 out of 4. Next, question number 49. Writing the dialogue or creating a dialogue. Situation is given there. Rakesh has gone to his college library to get a book on modern Indian history. Write a dialogue that could have happened between Rakesh and the librarian. I will give a dialogue in my imagination. You can write different dialogue, but it should be, the expressions there should be appropriate as well. Rakesh, excuse me sir. Librarian, yes, what do you want? Yes, what do you want? Rakesh, I want a book on modern Indian history. I want a book on modern Indian history. Then librarian. Librarian says, okay, there are books on modern Indian history in this section of the library. There are books on modern Indian history in this section of the library. Rakesh, okay sir, I have selected this book. Rakesh says, okay sir, I have selected this book. Librarian, okay, give your library card. I will issue the book for 8 days. Okay, give your library card. I will issue the book for 8 days. Rakesh, thank you sir. Librarian, welcome. Do return the book before the last date. Rakesh says, okay sir. This way you can write a dialogue. You need not write what I said as exactly as I said, but you can write your own. Liberty is there, but you have to adhere to the sentence construction rules, punctuation, grammar, everything. This way you will write answers to 49 questions in 3 hours. Actually not even 49, 47 questions you will answer, because there is choice in 4 marks question section. You will write just 8, 10 are given there, so total 47 answers you will be writing. Plan your time, 3 hours of time, how much to dedicate for 1 mark questions. You can just spend 10 minutes for 1 mark questions answers, because you have to write just shortest possible answers there. No need of completing the sentence. Remember, no need of completing the sentences as far as 1 mark questions are concerned. So just 10 minutes will be sufficient. Here for 4 mark questions, you may need minimum 5 minutes for each answer. So 8 answers, 40 minutes. Actually will not be sufficient. You take some 50 minutes for 4 mark questions. So you have used 1 hour. Now 6 marks question, you may need some 25 to 30 minutes. So 1.5 hours is over. Then passage some 15 minutes. Then articles and prepositions, verb forms, subject verb agreement, and rewrite as directed. Take some 15 minutes. Now just 1 hour remains. Take some 5 minutes for scoreboard, some 15 minutes for letter writing, 5 minutes for matching expressions. Completing the dialogue 5 minutes, creating the dialogue some 10 minutes, still around 15 to 20 minutes will remain. You will review your answers and you will write answers for those questions for which you could not write answers in the beginning. Review the question numbers. You may highlight the focal points in 4 mark questions and 6 mark questions section. You can underline the answer parts. Do not underline the whole answer, but you can underline some important points there in 4 mark questions answers and 6 marks answers. This way you can write answers in a very systematic manner. Leave 1 line after each answer. Another thing, do not leave line between the paragraphs. When you write answer for 6 marks question, you need not leave line after 1 paragraph. Begin the next paragraph, the very next line, leave some space. When you begin a new paragraph, leave some space from the margin so that you will be able to identify the new paragraph easily. But do not leave lines, it will look odd. Do not make spelling mistakes, punctuation mistakes. Write the capital letter in the beginning of the sentence. See to it that subject verb agreement is right in your answers. You have already learned about subject verb agreement. So follow all those punctuation, spelling and grammar rules and write relevant answers, neat answers. You will get maximum marks. Thank you. We will discuss another model question paper in the next session.